Welcome to Aspen Yoga. My name is Stacy and welcome to today's yoga session. We are going to do a deep reset where we look at yin and restorative yoga. We are looking to increase our joint mobility and getting some deep relief in some of our tighter areas of our body. Our focus today is our connective tissue, working on our joint health, and then also relaxing our nervous system. So we're going to do some resting and resetting in today's session. What you're going to need a bolster. If you don't have a bolster, just grab a really firm pillow or cushion. I have 3 blankets and then 2 yoga blocks. If you don't have yoga blocks, we can use some blankets, and you can also use some really thick books. So go ahead and gather everything you need. Meet me back on the mat for this yin and restorative yoga rest and reset. Welcome back. In our yin and restorative yoga, we're going to switch between the two. So our first one is going to be a reclined opening of our chest. So our heart opening, and we are going to use 2 blocks and a bolster. So go ahead and grab both of your blocks. You're going to set one block up at the high level. The next one is just going to be about 6 inches away at the low level. Then you're going to take your bolster. Depends on the size of your bolster. You can adjust the size or the elevation of what you are using for your blocks. When we are in our yin and our restorative yoga poses, we hold those poses for a bit. Okay, so this first one we're going to hold for about 5 minutes or so. So to take a blanket and place it at the base of your bolster. And then you can bring another blanket and we're just going to kind of drape it across our hips. So as we get into this pose, I want you to take your tailbone right at the back of the bolster, and you're just going to lean back into it slowly, making sure that you have that support. And as I come back here, am I extending my neck a little bit too far? If this is uncomfortable, grab one of your blankets. That's why always having plenty of blankets around is helpful. And then you're going to grab that third blanket. It'll come right over top here. Couple things you can do with your feet. You can leave them as I have them, bent, so knees bent, feet flat on the floor. You can also fold your legs, so just cross the legs and have the knees drape open. Hands can be across your abdomen here, or they can be at your side, palms up. So as we are in this restorative yoga pose, I want you to just take some nice deep breath. And as I said, we're going to stay in here for about 4 to 5 minutes. So it's also a lesson in allowing yourself to relax. Again, calming that nervous system. Everything should be comfortable here. You should have a nice support of your back on your bolster. If you have a roll for your neck is supported. Having the blanket across your abdomen is always gives you that grounding feeling. And then depending on where your legs are comfortable. So always when we are in a restorative yoga pose, we are not uncomfortable. We are not counting the seconds till we are done. So find that comfort. A nice deep breath. And if you like, you can add some counting to your breathing. So as you inhale for 4, exhale for 6, inhale for 4, exhale for 6, One more time together, and then at your own pace, inhaling for 4. Exhale for 6. Good. Settling into that rhythm. Settling into the support of your bolster and your blankets. If you feel any tension arise, adjust. If you release any of the tension, there should be no uncomfortableness, if that's a word, in your pose. Softening your face, so allowing that jaw to hang open. Softening the muscles of your forehead. We have a couple more minutes here, so allow your hands to sink into the surface, whether you're on your abdomen or palms up on the floor. Your shoulders drape away from your ears. Inhaling here. And as you exhale, we're going to slowly move into our next pose. So I want you to take your blanket off of you. And then as you take your hands beside your hips, elbows back, press yourself up. Oh, good. Bring those knees up if your legs were crossed. Good. Let's go ahead and set up for our next pose, which is going to be a yin yoga pose. We are going to do Sphinx. So you're going to take everything and just move it off to the side. So yin yoga, yes, uses props. For this first pose, we are not going to use as many props. So we're going to take the blanket we were on and we're going to move it off to the side. We are going to lie on our stomach. So as we lay here on our stomach, we are going to come up into what we call Sphinx. So I want you to take your blanket and I just want you to roll it up underneath your chest. Your hands are on the ground. Your elbow is in line with your shoulder. And you are just going to gaze forward, allowing your hips to slide towards the ground, releasing the muscles of your lower back. Now we are not going to stay here quite as long because it's a little bit more intense, but we are going to stay here just a couple of minutes. If this is too much on your lower back, you can bring yourself down a little bit, taking off the pressure. As we extend, we have put more pressure on the lower back. So extending and then letting those hips drop. Keeping our head straight so we are not sinking down. Our ears are not coming up to our shoulders. Nice deep breaths. Good. We're going to stay about 30 more seconds here. Good. I want you to come all the way down to the floor. Bring your hands together. Put your forehead on the floor. Good. Hands come back out to the sides of your mat. Press up. Let's come into a little child's pose, stretching the back out in the opposite direction. Good. As we come up onto our hands and knees, we are going to come into a restorative yoga. So we're kind of going back and forth here. A restorative yoga supported twist. So again, we're going to take a blanket, place it on our mat. We are using our bolster here. I want you to bring your bolster around to the front of your mat. You to go ahead and come onto your back. Lying on your blanket, just bring yourself flat onto the floor. Take your blanket and roll it up underneath your cervical spine. Knees are bent. I want you to straighten the leg that is closest to the bolster. So you should be right up against the bolster. Bring the bolster closer to you if you need to. Take the hand out to the side, and we're just going to gently twist until our bolster, our leg is firmly planted on that bolster. So as we twist here, allow those muscles to relax. Checking in with yourself, you can take that opposite arm out to the side. There's a little more pressure on opening of the chest, so if that's not comfortable, you can bring it back down to your side. The opposite hand can hold the knee, or it can be open up. If you need that extra, sometimes it's some extra weight, you can also take a blanket. So if you can reach a blanket, you can take a blanket and just let it sit on that leg. Arms are open. Nice deep breaths. Allow those muscles to relax. Again, we're going to do both sides here, so we'll stay here for another minute or so. Your choice on if you would like your head to turn towards your twist, or you can take it to the ceiling. You can go back to your 4 and 6 breathing. If you find that that settled you. Good, just about 20 seconds here, and then we will switch sides. Good, and as we come back to the center, so we're gonna untwist ourselves, take that blanket off the top, come back to the center, bring both knees up to the ceiling. Take your bolster on the other side. We're just gonna do the same thing on the other side. So bolster is on the other side. Stretch out the leg that is closest to the bolster. And then you're going to twist away from me onto the bolster. Grab that extra blanket if you need to. Good, opening the chest and just settling in here. Remember, arms can be open. They can stay across the belly. Nice deep breaths. Do about 45 seconds left here. Good, let's take your blanket off and come back to the center. Hug those knees into your chest. Nice deep breaths. And bring those feet flat onto the floor. Good. Rolling towards me. I want you to sit up slowly. Nice. We are going to go back to a yin yoga and we are going to do a dragonfly. So sitting on your blanket, your legs are stretched out in a wide V. Now a couple things you can do here, and let's go ahead and do this. Let's take our blanket and just put it under one knee and under the other. So you want your blankets to be somewhat the same level. So if you need to roll one up. So it's okay to have a slight bend in the knees as we roll forward. Grab your bolster and you are going to fold forward into your bolster. Nice deep breaths. And I don't care if you round. The importance of being in yin yoga is that you are supported as we get into our stretches. So my knees do not have to be locked out. My toes do not have to be to the ceiling. Everything is relaxed. So we're going to stay here for a few minutes. Nice deep breaths here. We're going to do a combo here. So we are going to do supported dragon fly. So this is our supported dragonfly, and then we're going to come into a supported caterpillar. So this stretch for a couple minutes, and then we're going to bring our legs together for caterpillar for a couple minutes. This can be intense on your adductors, your inner thighs. So it is a little bit more intense than maybe our restorative yoga. It still should not be painful. No sharp stabbing pains. Just about 20 more seconds here. Then we're going to pull everything together for a caterpillar. Good. Just walk yourself up your bolster. Again, bringing everything to the center. So go ahead and move your bolster to the side. Again, you can, whichever blanket you liked, you can take that to the center. So we are under our knees. We are still sitting on our blanket. Again, toes, everything is not, we are not engaging. So back of our legs are not engaged. Everything's just hanging out here, okay? So take your bolster now on top of your legs and just fold forward from here. So we've changed it from an inner thigh to hamstrings. If you want, you can bring a blanket up on top here if you feel that support a little bit better. Staying here for a couple minutes. About 30 more seconds here, so settle in. Allow those hamstrings to release with each exhale. Fold forward just a little bit farther here as we finish up. And walk those hands up. So we have gone from dragonfly to caterpillar, now butterfly. Okay, so go ahead and take everything to the side. We are still sitting up on our blanket. Grab your two blocks. Place them at your sides. We are going to come into a butterfly. Take those blocks underneath your thighs, so underneath the knees. You can bring your bolster back in front if you like. And you can just fold forward from here, grabbing onto your toes. Allowing yourself to sink into your blocks, sink forward into your bolster. If you do not want a bolster here, you can just fall forward into space. Elbows are on the shins. One more time here. Good, pressing up. Nice. Now bring those knees to the center. We are going to do everyone's favorite. We're going to do a little relaxation. So very comfortable and supported. Blocks come back behind you, out of the way. One blanket is going to come to the end of your mat, going to be our cervical support. The other blanket is going to stay under you. So you may want to pull it just a little bit farther forward. You're going to drape your legs over your bolster. This is what it's going to look like. Place those feet over the bolster. Letting yourself down slowly. Roll your blanket for support. I love the blanket on my abdomen to hold everything, really keeps everything grounded here. I want you to extend one leg tap the heel, the other leg, tap the heel. Toes turn out. If your feet don't touch the ground, that's okay. Letting them float in space. Now your hands can stay across your abdomen or they can be at your sides, palms up. Your choice here. Eyes can gaze at the ceiling or your eyes are closed. We're going to stay here for about 5 minutes. And I want you to be alone with your thoughts. Thinking of your body relaxing, your mind wandering. Do not think about a to-do list. Do not think about anything. If you would like to go back to your breathing, inhaling for 4, exhaling for 6, inhale for 4, exhaling for 6. Good, holding here. Checking in at the halfway point. Allow yourself to relax and breathe if you are thinking any to-do lists or any negative thoughts. Let those thoughts float away. And as we inhale here and exhale. As we finish our practice today, you can stay here as long as you like. When you're ready, you can get up. I want to thank you for joining me. Again, my name is Stacy with Aspen Yoga. Remember to subscribe and like, and I will see y'all next time.